Hi everyone, and welcome to my very first Flosstube video. My name is Sam, and you can find me here on YouTube or Instagram as Stitch Again Sam. I chose that name because I have come back to cross stitch after a pretty long break. I used to stitch back in the late 80s, early 90s time frame, and after I finished my wedding sampler in the early 90s, I needed a break. And so 30 years passed by and here I am again, back at it. So today I just wanted to do a little introduction, tell you a little bit about myself, and then, a little bit about my crafting background and show you projects that I have going on and future plans and all that stuff that I think makes a pretty good first Flosstube video. I have notes, so please don't be offended if I'm looking at my notes here and there to make sure I'm telling you the stuff that I want to tell you. Let's start with a little bit about me. I live outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and I am by profession a licensed CPA, and I still work in public accounting, but it's in more of a administrative management sort of position. And I find a lot of I'll say CPAs and engineers in the crafting community. So that's always kind of fun. I think we all just need a little bit of a creative outlet. So I am married. My husband is a high school math and computer science teacher. So yes, we are pretty nerdy and we talk about spreadsheets for fun in our spare time. I have two teenage daughters. I probably won't share a whole lot about them here just for respect of their privacy. I don't really want to overshare if I'm asking them not to overshare. So maybe some general stuff, but not a lot. I will happily share lots of information about our pets. So don't misconstrue the level that I share with that I love my pets more than my kids. I love them all, but if the house is on fire, the kids are coming out first, right? So we have a yellow lab. His name is Finn, and he is laying over here to the side to me. He is probably gonna force his way into this video at some point. He's a very good boy though, and he is, let's see, fun fact about Finn, he is a certified therapy dog. Unfortunately, we got that certification in February of 2020. So we haven't really been able to do a whole lot with it yet, but we're hoping, fingers crossed, that soon we'll be able to resume visits past the ones that we had to do for our testing, because we had a really good time doing that. So, and then we have a cat, and our cat's name is Ginger. I've always been kind of more of a dog person than a cat person, but she was actually here first before the dog, but she was a stray that was in our neighborhood, and so we fed her once. So you know how that story ends. She's now our cat, but she's really sweet. She wasn't feral or anything when we first got her, but she was a little bit, a little more energetic and would just randomly attack your leg when you walked by. And she's past that now. She's very snuggly. She's pretty friendly for a cat, and she's fun to have around. So fun fact about Ginger, she is a polydactyl cat. So that means, for those that don't know, she has a little extra digit on her front paws that looks kind of like a thumb. So, whatever. Also, they are also called Hemingway cats, because apparently Ernest Hemingway had a thing for polydactyl cats, and that's all he really had. So I guess if you're in Key West where he lived, there's tons of polydactyl cats around there or something. I don't know, whatever. So that is pretty much the family part of what I'm going to share today. As far as my crafting background, as soon as I could hold crayons and color, I just always feel like I've been drawn to do something kind of creative. So, you name the aisle in the craft store, I've spent money on something probably in it. Now, some things I try and they don't work out. So yeah, I'm looking at you, knitting and crochet. Not my thing. Wish I could, but I'm not good at it, and I've tried and I'm just done. I'm done trying on that one. But other than cross stitch, the thing that has probably stuck the longest has been, I'll put it under the umbrella of paper crafting. So when my girls were younger, that looked like scrapbooking. These days, it looks like card making and stamping, coloring. We are right now in my craft room, which this basket that's behind me currently holds every cross stitch thing I own, but this whole room is filled with stamps and markers and ink pads and a million other things for that craft. So those are really my two passions. And I think they're good complementary hobbies, right? So card making, I can make a card in like less than an hour, and I'm going to send that off to someone one way or another. I don't have to worry about finding a way to display it or do anything with it. And if I send that out to someone, and like my hope is that it brings them a little bit of happiness or joy in their day when they receive it. And if that happens and then they throw it in the garbage, I don't care. Like, that's totally fine by me. So different than cross stitch, because if I give you something I stitched, you better just keep it till you die or give it back to me or something. Once I'm gone, I don't really care what anybody does with it, but for as long as I'm around, you better not throw it away. So it's a little bit different in that regard. But I like what I like about cross stitch is the portability of it. I think, you know, that's what's kind of nice, is I can just pick that up, and instead of having this entire room filled with stuff that I have to figure out how to pack up and decide what I want to take to do anything, I can just grab a project bag and go and stitch on my couch, in the car, wherever my kids have activities going on, like whatever. I can do it anywhere. So that is fun, and I like that. A little bit about like my style and taste in things. So it's pretty similar. Like whatever I'm doing, both things, I would say it's kind of a similar style. Like in the card making community, it's called CAS, clean and simple, right? So that means, you know, kind of white backgrounds, bright colors, simple designs. That's what I'm drawn to. So in like designers, you know, pattern designer terms, that means I like, you know, patterns by Satsuma Street or Emma Congdon or Tiny Modernist, like all those kind of like a little bit more modern, I guess, looking things. But like I'll say it's similar to music. Like I might gravitate towards certain types of music, but I can find something I like in just about any like genre if it speaks to me. So same thing here. Like you'll see as I go through some of my patterns and future projects that I want to work on, that there are some like primitive sampler style things and things that are different. So if the thing speaks to me and I want to do it, it doesn't really matter what the style is, but I always gravitate towards that same, like stitch it on white Aida and give me some bright colored floss and I'm a happy camper. And oh my God, if it's a grid, like I am for sure totally in if there's a grid involved in the design of it. So that is a lot of what you are going to see from me. And I sort of felt like I found Flosstube, it was sometime last year. And I have a theory about how this happened, because I got back into cross stitch in like 2017, 2018. And it was really finding a pattern on Amazon. Like Amazon had some kind of sale going on, and I was just randomly looking through the craft category for things that might interest me. And so I found a pattern that I liked and I ordered it, and I just very like slowly was working on it. My older daughter was swimming at the time, and so I would just take it with me when I was waiting for her at swimming. So maybe I was stitching for like a half an hour to 40 minutes a week. So nothing quick, not just one thing. That's all I was working on. And then the pandemic hit, so no more swimming. And so no more stitching. Like I stopped stitching really too and wasn't really working on that. So I think, and perhaps I have watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix too. I think that's Netflix, right? Too many times, but I think that, you know, like the little algorithm powers of the internet thought, she spent money on Amazon on cross stitch a couple years ago, but she, like our spy Alexa, hasn't heard her talk about cross stitch much lately. So let's throw a Flosstube video in her recommended videos on YouTube, because usually I'm watching card making videos. That's what I used to always watch. So, but suddenly one popped in, and it was Shiloh at, I think it's X Stitch MD's channel. And she is just like she seems like such a joyful person. Like, she's just fun to watch and fun to listen to. And so I got kind of hooked on her. And okay, I will admit that when I first started watching it and she was like using the term Flosstube, I thought that just meant her channel. I thought like that was a thing she made up and Flosstube was her, right? Like, I didn't realize there was this like whole world of Flosstube people out there making videos. Not a clue. So anyway, I was just kind of watching her channel, and probably eventually one popped up, another one in a recommended video or something. Or maybe she mentioned somebody and it finally clued me into the fact that there was more. So that is kind of how I got into Flosstube. So I guess I just thought what I have found so far is people that maybe their style isn't the same as mine, and that's okay. Like, I listen to Flosstube videos while I stitch usually. And I just like listening because I like learning about people and what they like and what they're doing and what they're up to. It doesn't have to necessarily be that I'm there looking for like ideas for more patterns, because as you will find out today, I have plenty. And like, I haven't even been at this that long. So I'm in no rush to like find a whole bunch of other patterns. So it's more like the person. And maybe this is just what I found, but like the channels I have found it's not necessarily people stitching the things that are my style. So that leads me to believe maybe what I like is not as in style as other things, but whatever, that's okay. So I thought, well, maybe I should just share what I'm doing so that if there's other people like me out there that like what I like, you know, I will be a voice for that group. I don't know. So yeah, I think that's a good like general, let's see, did I have anything else I wanted to say? I don't think so. So the other reason that I decided to start doing this channel was to keep myself kind of accountable. I mean, I can already feel myself going way deep down the rabbit hole and finding all these patterns and wanting to start all these things. And I know if I just start tons of things and never finish anything, that is just going to be super frustrating for me. And I don't want to get to that point. So I have sort of thought it through, and I made like a wish list. Obviously, being a CPA, I did it in Excel. And so I made this wish list and kind of categorized everything, put it into a table. It's all very fancy. And was like, okay, like because I do like the idea of having multiple projects going at one time, but I just want to like keep it under control, right? So I'm like, all right, let's like look at this list and say, all right, there's like categories that sort of come up. So my goal is to just have one project per category going at one time. So this is the part where I'm going to pause, because if you are somebody that is coming across this video, like, I don't know, a year or two from now, and maybe I'm still doing this and making new videos and you've just watched a new one, you're probably laughing, because I've probably way broken that rule and I probably have like a bajillion things started. So take a minute, get the laugh out, compose yourself, and then we'll move on, because I know, like, I'm already like cheating. I've already found ways to cheat this system that I came up with like a month ago. So it's probably not destined to work, but like, I don't know, you got to start somewhere, right? So what I'm going to do today is kind of walk you through these categories and show you, I have a couple things that are finished that I can show you the WIPS that I have for that category and what my future plans are. If I've actually bought the pattern, I will share that with you too, but there's more on the wish list that I'm not, so just understand the list is already pretty long. Okay, so the first category that I'm going to talk about, I'm calling it my legacy projects, and I know I have heard other people use this term, and I'm not sure if I'm using it in exactly the same way, but it is sort of more like long-term projects, I guess, is the way I would think about it. So I thought this might be a fun spot to share a finish that is my oldest finish and really like my only finish from back in the day when I used to stitch in the like 80s and 90s. And that's the wedding sampler that I talked about earlier. So I have that framed. I'm gonna see if we can get this to fit kind of in the screen here. Okay, sorry, there's a pretty bad glare. But you get the gist. Okay, so there it is. Now, I'm pretty sure that even if I had not told you when I made this, or you don't see the year on it, the framing alone might have given away the period of time in which it was made. So yeah, this was done in the 90s. So I'm sorry I can't like share, if you like love this pattern, I'm really sorry because I can't tell you who made it. Probably like dimensions. I don't know, was that still even a thing then? Because I'm sure I just bought it at a craft store. I seem though to remember maybe it was in a book. I don't know, I'm sorry. But I did still just want to share it. And I do, right now this is not on display in my house because the framing just does not really go. So I think I am going to go ahead and get it reframed now. So I'll share that if I get it reframed. And I will tell you, the one little thing I will tell you about this is that center section with the words. On the original pattern, that was a much more ornate and longer like phrase or verse or whatever that was there. And even back then, like I wanted things a little bit simpler. And so I simplified it to love and to cherish from this day forward. Cause I was like, well, that makes sense. Cause I want to put the day we got married on there. Right. I am a little bit bothered by the fact that I did not center those lines of text. And even like our names are not centered. And I did think about like, well, if I'm going to reframe it, oh, plus it's like all, I'm also going to, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like all wavy. I don't know that you can really see that, but maybe I shouldn't expect professional framing to last 30 years. But it needs some TLC. And so I thought if I'm going to take it out of there anyway, I could like redo that stitching. And then I was like, you're crazy. Don't do that. So I'm not going to do it. Right. I think that's the right thing to do, is to not redo that. Okay. So that's my finish from the legacy part. The WIP that I'm going to consider my WIP for that group is the Amazon pattern that I told you about. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to just lean back here to get these. I'm trying to figure out how to lay things out here. So that was this. It's a dimensions. God, I'm sorry. Like I got to figure out the lighting situation here. There's a lot of glare. And it is called Christmas on the Beach. And I saw it and I was like, oh, that's really cute. I love the beach. And that's the other thing, okay? Bright colors, grids, and the beach. Those are like the things that always kind of draw me in, or ocean, whatever. And so I just thought, oh, this is really cute. And like, stupid me, all right? I like look at this and it says, oh, it's a 5x7 thing. Like I can whip that out in no time. Like it's full coverage, people, full coverage. So I was stitching on this, you know, like I said, at swimming lessons and everything. So this is how far I have gotten. Now, I have not stitched on this since the pandemic started. So not like terribly far. And I'm sorry, like I'm probably breaking all the rules. I have like my needle just stuck in there because I don't own a needle minder yet. I guess I need to get one of those. So that's as far as I've gotten. I purposely went ahead and did this sky because I want to be able to do the tree. I feel like if I can get that tree done, I'll get more excited about it. But what I have learned, I do want to finish this, okay? But what I have learned is that me and full coverage patterns are not meant to be. Like, I don't think that's going to be something I try to do again. I don't know. And maybe it's really because like I started with all this sand and it was kind of boring. I don't know. Whatever. But I'm going to finish this, but I'm going to finish it very, very slowly. And so in my mind, I look at, well, here, look at the finished thing, right? It's these two chairs on the beach. So I look at this and I envision it's like my husband and I have retired to like a warmer part of the country where we're by the ocean. We just set up these chairs and this little tree and we're going to exchange Christmas gifts on the beach. Like it'll be so awesome. And yeah, so I'm telling myself I just need to finish it by the time I retire. which is a ways away. So I think what I'm going to do for this one is just tell myself I'm going to work on it once a month. And maybe since it's Christmassy, I will do it on the 25th of the month from this point forward. So I might share this again in the future, but like you're probably not going to see tremendous progress on it. It's going to be a very slow go. So that's the current WIP for that category. Now, as far as future projects, which seems maybe a little bit weird to say like future projects for the legacy group, but the one idea that I had that I thought would be kind of fun is to try to find patterns that were published in the years that my girls were born. And like it would have to be something I liked. So I'm thinking those might be something that would be more like vintage or primitive looking and, you know, timeless, in a timeless kind of way. And so I might never get to that because it's probably going to take me forever to finish this one if I'm not going to start another, but it gives me something kind of fun to hunt for. So if you have any tips about how to find a pattern or like be able to find patterns that were created in a specific year. I kind of tried to Google it quick and I didn't have a lot of success. So mostly what I was finding was like books, like a whole book. And I'm like, well, I don't know what's in the book. I don't know if I'm going to want something in there or not. So if you have any thoughts about that, feel free to share that in the comments. Okay. The second category, I don't really have anything to show you for my second category, but that is going to be a sal. So it took me a while to figure out what a sal was, stitch along. And I, you know, obviously back when I was originally stitching in the 80s or 90s, like there wasn't even the internet, or like at least not the internet at home that you could like use in your house. So there was no such thing as like a community project like that everybody could work on and together. I mean, maybe like in person, but not virtually. And so as soon as I figured out what that meant and what it was, I was like, oh my God, that sounds like super fun. And I want to do that. So I have been keeping my eyes open for one that I liked. And so what I'm going to do is it's Stitchonomy, I think is the site. And she did a Homely Houseplants version 1, I think last year, maybe it was the year before. And I think I found that site because it was through finding that pattern, because now you can just buy the pattern for it. And I thought it was cute, but then I realized she's doing a version 2 and absolutely perfect for the CPA in the room. It's starting on April 16th. So for those of you that maybe either don't live in the US or I don't know, don't have to file, aren't interested in filing your tax returns or don't have to worry about that. That's the day after. Okay, well, wait, it's the day after the tax deadline in any other normal year. But again, it's been moved, but we're not talking about that because it makes me sad. But it's a perfect time to start it. So I'm kind of excited about starting it. So my goal there, I'm all kitted up and ready to go. I have my fabric and I have my flosses and they're all in my cute little bag. And I decided to do, so there was a new, like still kind of complimentary, but a different color scheme for the second one. But I really liked the colors that she used in the first one. And so I was very happy when I got the listing of the floss colors that it gave you that option of substitutions to make if you wanted to use the original color scheme. So that is what I am doing. And so my only goal there is to try to keep up. I've never done a stitch along before. I have no idea like if the quantity of stitching to the period of time is going to be something that I can handle, but I'm going to try to keep up. If I don't, okay, it's okay. Not a big deal. But we're only going to do one of these at a time. We're not going to like start a whole bunch of these, doing them all the time. No. All right, so that is number 2 for the categories. Number 3, okay, this is where the cheating has happened. So originally, when I started making my list, I, like probably everybody, loves seasonal and holiday things. You know, I don't really want to stitch something if I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So, and I like the idea of having like pieces that I can switch out for different seasons or different holidays so that it's one spot, but I can display multiple things, right? I mean, I'm sure that's like pretty normal go, right? And so initially I just had a seasonal category, but it was huge. And I was like, well, okay, there's a lot of things in that category. So I might have split it into, let's see, 3 subcategories. So this is how this whole house of cards is going to fall apart, because if I want to start something else, I'm probably just going to start a new category, right? But I'm going to really try not to do that. But I did do it here. So the first subcategory that we'll talk about is mini, I'm calling it mini seasonals. So this, I have specific thoughts about where I want to display these. I have a little, like a shadow box frame that I got at Target years ago that hangs above my desk at home. And it has a section in it that is probably about 5 by 7, and it's intended to be a pin board. So it just has like a linen kind of fabric already there. And I was like, oh, like it would be super cute. I could like kind of like a stitching with the housewives kind of thing. I could just do a cute little thing like mounted with maybe some gingham or whatever around it and shove it in that little section. And then it has other little tiny parts about it. And I'll show this to you eventually, but where I can put either pictures or little, like, I don't know, like shells in the summer. I got some little eggs to put for Easter time, like whatever, little things in there. So that is one thing that I want to just make. I mean, I don't have anything specific in mind, but different things for different like seasons or holidays to switch out. And then I thought it would be cute to get one of those little wooden easels and put that on my desk at work. So my work desk at my office, and have something cute that I could like switch out and have there. So I think those are like the only two, those are the only two categories I'm thinking about there. So as far as what I've done so far, I actually have a finish for that because they're quick, right? And easy to do. So I'm going to show you the pattern first because I did change it up a bit. And this was a stitching with the housewives because they're a hoot. Like I love them. Okay. And so it was this carrot patch pattern. I bought that from their Etsy shop. So I print, like this is just printed, so the colors maybe aren't quite as vibrant as normal. And I really liked it. So I ended up doing it on pink instead of black because, well, like whatever store I was in at the time, they didn't have black. And my daughter was with me and she's like, oh, get the pink. The pink is pretty. So I did. I'm okay with the pink. But, okay, this is going to be like sort of peek into Sam's weird mind and how it works about things. So if you look closely, there's these little chicks that stand, because, okay, originally I just intended to stitch this exactly as it is. So I stitched the carrots and I stitched the bunny heads, and then I was like, okay, I can put these little chicks on top of the bunny ears. And I was like, but like a chick can't stand on a bunny ear like that. Like a bunny ear, you can't stand on it. Like it doesn't make any sense. Why? How could the chick be on top of the bunny's ear? And like the physics of it, I'm all like freaked out about the physics of it. No mind that the bunny is standing upright and wearing overalls. Totally, that's totally okay. No problem. But I can't get past the chick standing on the bunny ear. So that was the first thing I changed, which then in true, like if you give a mouse a cookie fashion, if you're familiar with that book, led me to changing a whole bunch of things. Okay, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to hold these both so that you can compare, but I'll show you the finished thing, and then I'm gonna put a piece of paper behind this just because I don't know how that's gonna like read there. Okay, so that is my finish. And I'm a little bit bummed out how the white doesn't pop too much on that pink, but it's okay. It's cute. And so, all right, so obviously those chicks that were up on their ears, they migrated down here to the ground where they belong. And I just put extra ones here. And so then wanting to do that caused me to have to rethink, because on the original it was carrot in like bigger letters up here, and then patch, wait, is that right? Yeah, patch was at the bottom, like where these chicks are. Patch was going right here. So I'm like, well, I could just shift the whole thing down, and it was pretty easy to redo the lettering so that it was just all at the bottom and put carrot patch at the bottom. So I did that, and then I had seen, I think it might have been in the Homely Houseplants version 1, there was like a little tassel on one of the planters, like a hanging planter. And I was like, oh, that little tassel's cute. And I was like, oh, it'd be cute to do like little tassel-y things, whatever, at the top of the carrots. So I had to like look up how to do that. And I think it's called, like in embroidery, it was turkey something, turkey work, turkey foot, I think it was turkey work. I'm sure I probably did it wrong, but it looks like cute little carrot tops on there. I thought it was pretty cute. So that changed. I did just use colors that I had floss wise. I didn't really use the called for colors on this one either. What else did I change? Oh, okay. So like I stitched the overalls before I did these little chicks on the bottom, and I totally missed that there were 2 squares that were supposed to be for the tail, and I just stitched solid overalls. So then I just put little back stitches. I think you can see those there, right? Little back stitches for their tails, which I think like that looked pretty cute. I was okay with that. So I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, I'm filming this. It is Friday, March 26th. So Easter is a little more than a week away. So I'm actually thinking I might run out today and get what I need to actually finish this so I can display it a little bit. And really, I mean, it's Eastery, but it doesn't actually say Easter, so it could just be spring. So I'll probably keep that one displayed for a little bit. So if I completely finish it, I will share that with you next time. But yeah, so that's my finish on the mini category. I don't have anything started yet because I really just finished that, but I do know what I'm going to do next. So I'll share it because I have a pattern for it. So I'll share. So my next thing is going to be this beach house. It's called Beach House by Country Cottage Needleworks. But I am, again, because like I just can't leave well enough alone. And I'm trying to make this fit into what is really like something that the pattern should be that way. So I'm going to not include the words beach house on it. And I'm just going to start out stitching like the house part and maybe make the waves a few more rows more bigger. And I may or may not put these vine little, whatever those vines are at the top. Oh, but like, I think it's a starfish. Oh yeah, no, I might have to include at least one of those. And so I am going to do that next. So I think if I do that, it will fit in the frame and be able to work there. It's my hope anyway. And I'm doing this, I do have the fabric for it. And this is a big moment because I have never in my life stitched on anything besides Aida. And so I have new fabric that is even weave. I'm being told this is even weave. So I discovered recently that I live in a embarrassment of riches of cross stitch stores in my area. So I found out, I don't even know how I figured this out, but there is one, I mean, it's like 15 minutes away and I didn't even know it was there. And so and there's another one that's maybe like, I think a half an hour away and I haven't made it there yet, but I went to the one close to me. It's called Just Stitching. If you live in the area, it's in Strongsville, Ohio. And the owner there, I'm pretty sure her name is Jeanette. She was so sweet, so nice, very helpful. She has a channel, a Flosstube channel too. So I will see if I can figure out how to link that down below in the description. So I'm like, listen, I have a project that I found and well, I'll tell you more about the pattern later, but it's a big pattern but it is definitely a more like primitive sampler style pattern. So to me, that just doesn't make sense to stitch that on Aida. It needs to be on like a linen or even weave kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, but I can't start with like something that big. So that's why I picked this one. And then Jeanette very nicely walked me through and showed me different samples of like what's even weave and what's linen. And I looked at the two and I was like, oh, my brain needs the even weave. Like it needs to be even. I can't, like she showed me that linen. There's like little clumpy things in there. I'm like, no. Maybe someday, but not now. Can't do it. So I have this little piece that I got. It says fabric. Okay, I'm sure I'm going to butcher this. Jobelan, Jobelan. I don't know. 28 count. Lamb's wool is the color. So we're going to start that on that and give it a go. We'll see how that works out. But I do want to start that. I'm excited about starting that one. Okay, so that is that. So those are and I have a whole list of like wish list kind of things. I just haven't bought any of the patterns yet of other things that are in that mini category. And my thought is that like, it was really tempting once I started that carrot patch one to I just want to finish it. Like it's so quick and I just wanted to finish it. But I don't want to keep, like if I keep starting another one, then I won't get to the other things, right? So I think what I'm going to do is tell myself it's mini Mondays. And on Monday, if I stitch on Monday, I work on the mini thing. I don't know. That's what I'm telling myself now. We'll see how that works out. Okay. So mini Mondays. Yeah. Okay, so the second category in my seasonal category is we're just going to keep one that is called seasonal. And this would be not many, so bigger projects, but that really only focus on the 4 seasons, not necessarily a holiday. So again, like most things, I don't have anything started yet, but I do know what I'm going to do. And that is, because I have a lot. Well, I don't know, maybe not a lot, but the first thing I want to do, ooh, I don't want to show you that because that is not it. The first thing I'm going to do are these Satsuma Street seasonal samplers. Again, it's a grid. It's on white Ada. It's so neat. So I'm going to start with spring, which is this one. And so I have all the floss. I'm like ready to go. And I think what I'm gonna try to do, because I haven't stitched any of these designs yet, I don't know if this is reasonable or not, but like, could I do one of these a week? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. But that's what I'm gonna do. I might, oh, one more thing. I'm thinking about not doing the actual grid lines that are around it, because I feel like it would still look like a grid, even if you didn't have the grid lines. So again, it's sort of my, like, I just gravitate towards like simplifying things. So it's easy enough. I'm just going to stitch it without the lines. And if I look at it and go, oh no, it needs the lines, we can just go back and add them. No big deal. So I'm going to do this one first. It's really my second favorite summer. My very favorite is the fall one. So I will do that one second. And again, I have that one kitted up, ready to go. I've purchased the pattern. And these I just purchased from her Etsy shop and printed them. I love that. It's so pretty. I love that one. Now, I have not made kits yet for the other 2 seasons because I'm thinking I might change colors. So I have spring, primavera, and these are all named, like, I think it must be the Italian names for the season because I think primavera does somehow refer to spring in Italian, I think. And like, I don't dislike these colors, but I don't know if they like scream spring to me. But I do think like if you saw them all together, it would like, the colorway would make sense with the other ones. So, but I'm not intending to do that. So I might change this one. I'm not positive. We'll see when we get to it. I'm also doing this because if I do those 2 first and then I poop out and I don't want to do these anymore and I just have the 2, like that's okay. Then I have the 2 I really like. And then I did also buy the winter pattern. And I'm going to tell you, I really don't love the colors on this one. So I think I am for sure going to do something to change the color scheme on this, but I haven't really figured out what yet. So if you know of anybody that has stitched this in a different like color palette, let me know in the comments so I can look and see if I can find that. But I like the designs. I don't know about the colors for me. So that one will be last. Also in this category, and I have also bought these patterns too. Okay, this is like if my brain were a cross stitch pattern, it would be this. Well, I'll show you this one first because these are Emma Condon patterns, and it's this that's on the front cover. It's a grid, haha, shocking, but it's like a swatch grid of like colors and patterns for each season. So I found the magazine at Barnes & Noble, so I bought that, like the actual magazine for the winter version. She has the summer on her Etsy shop, Stitchrovia, so I'll try to link that one below. So I bought that pattern, and then spring is out. I bought a digital copy of that because you can, like that. This is a UK publication, so I bought the digital copy of that just to try it. I've always stitched from a paper pattern, so I thought, it wasn't very expensive to buy the digital copy of it, so a good way to give that a try. And I thought this would be kind of an easy pattern to stitch that way. Obviously, I did actually, in my quest for simplification, I did think about, I know it might be too hard to see on that, it's small. I did think about not including the words that are below it and just like, use your imagination of what these things are supposed to represent. But I think I really like the words. So I'm going to keep them there. I'm just going to have to modify, like, obviously the spelling of colors to the US spelling. And then there are some things, okay, so I had to look this up because there are some things like, for example, it's Fair Isle jumper on here. We would call it a sweater, but I think jumper is like a super more fun word for that. So I might even keep the jumper there, but most of them, it doesn't matter. They apply no matter where you are. But on the summer version, there is this thing, and it's just a brown square, brownish, like light brown, and it's called clotted cream fudge. And I was like, ew, like, I don't think I ever really want to use the word clotted to describe something I'm going to eat. And I didn't know what that was. So I had to look it up. It seems like it's just fudge. Like, I think here in the US, we just call it fudge. So I might just put like fudge. I think, yeah, that's what I'm going to do right there. Because at first I thought maybe it was ice cream, but I don't think it's not. I think it's like fudge. If you're from the UK and you can enlighten me on that, feel free. And it does very smallly above that say classic British colors of summer. So I think I'm just going to leave the classic British part off. But I'm really excited to start this. So what I might do is do like a season of the Satsuma Street pattern and then a season of this and like alternate them to get those done. I'll have to figure out like how quickly I can stitch those squares and like what's reasonable to get those done, but you know, no big hurry. Let's see. I have one other thing on my wish list, I think, on the seasonal things, but I haven't bought the pattern yet, so I won't share that. So then there's holiday. So holiday, I do have to watch my time here. Holiday, okay, like that is, it is what it is, right? It's holiday. So, and again, nothing started. Well, I mean, I guess you could count my other Christmas on the beach thing as holiday, but I'm not putting it in that category. So the things that I have for this so far are this Satsuma Street Halloween cat pattern. I got this at Just Stitching when I was there. It was actually on my wish list though of things. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm going to get it. I did that a lot. Oh, this is on my wish list and she has it. I'll buy it to try to support her, right? So I have that. I think I'm probably going to do this first in the holiday when I start something, but I got to find fabric. And this one is stitched on, like, it looks like an even weave, which it looks pretty. I don't know. Like this, I got to search for the right fabric because I do like this color. I'm not usually one for color backgrounds, but I like that. Okay, so there's that. And then I was on Amazon looking for the Emma Congdon book, but I also, you know, in famous Amazon fashion, it was like, but you also might like this. And I was like, oh, but I do. And this is Cross Stitch Christmas by, let's see, Helene Labert. I assume she's French. I don't know. So like that pattern on the front is like, that's gorgeous. Like I want to make that. And this whole book, I'm going to tell you about all 20 of these things I would be happy making. They seem a little hard. Like there's a lot of back stitching on these. And again, most of them, the samples that are in the book are stitched in on linen or like in even weave kind of fabric. This is another one I really liked. So I have selected some of like my top 5 favorites out of here. This one is not, and this one's not even, it's the Christmas Rose. It's hard for me to like hold up the book and be able to see. But it doesn't scream Christmas, but it's really pretty. So yeah, I'm going to wait a little bit on these, but like that's definitely, in the mix. So that's at this point, and I know I have some things on my wish list for that too. Okay. So now we're going to get to the final category, and that is like, I'm just going to call my focus. Like it's the bigger project that doesn't fit in any other category. So right now I have a almost finished WIP. So I will share that. I'll show you the picture of it first. It's kind of beat up because I've been stitching from the pattern. And it's this Aloha pattern, also Emma Congdon from her Stitchrovia Etsy shop. And I think I saw this, I'm pretty sure I saw this on Shiloh's channel. I think she maybe was starting it, and that was where I originally saw it. And so I'm getting dangerously close to finishing this. I love it so much. It's so pretty. That is so pretty. I'm so excited. And yes, there's a little spot of something. I don't know what that is, but there's a butterfly that goes here. So I think it's gonna cover it up and I'll be okay. So yeah, I hope by the next time you see me, this is all done. that will make me happy because I really don't have very much left. So that one is done. Okay, I'm going to quickly show you a few of the other things I have to start that are like for this category or other patterns I have. I have this I just got it, Just Stitching 2. This was a random, this was not on my list, but I do like tiny modernist patterns. And I saw this one and I was like, ooh, I'll take that, Mermaid Garden. So that's in the running for that one might be next, or maybe you can help me pick. I did get this Emma Congdon book. And the first, I have 3 picked out of here that again, I could stitch everything in here, but let's be real. But I think I want to do this one first. And it's No Act of Kindness, However Small, Is Ever Wasted. I think it's a good thing to think of right now, right? So like, leave me a comment and tell me like, which one should I do first? Should I do the Mermaid Garden or this kindness one? I'll let you guys pick because I haven't been able to decide. Just FYI, the other ones I have picked are A Smooth Sea Never Made a Skillful Sailor. There's my other. And again, understanding these aren't the only 3 I like, but they're my 3 favorites. And this is more like, the design is okay, but I really like the saying, good things come to those who wait, but the best come to those who do. So that one I like. So, but I want to do the kindness one first because it looks like it wouldn't be too bad. There is back stitching on there, but whatever. So that is one thing. And then, okay, I'm going to share this because I did buy the pattern. This is the one that's making me try stitching on something other than Ada because I think it has to be, but it's huge. So we're not going to be starting this anytime soon. But I think I saw this on, it might have been, I went back and I was watching the Steel City Stitchers WIP parade from the end of last year. And I think that is where I saw it. Oh, I should take it out of this bag because it's going to glare. Sorry. And this is by Ink Circles, and it's called Dog's Declaration. And it says, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Squirrels. I love it. So this is where, even though maybe this is not totally my style, I love it so much. Like the content and like the fact that it like looks old, but it kind of putting this like little modern twist because it's about dogs on it. And there's like squirrels and dogs and cute things on there. I love it. I love it so much. I can't even tell you. But I want to do it justice, so I need to practice stitching on something other than Ada before I start that one. Okay, so that is that. Oh, I'm also just going to quickly share with you. So I don't have a lot. Like everything I own, like I said, fits in this basket. So like I don't really have stuff to give away. But there are products that like span between both of my hobbies. So there are things in the paper crafting world that are specifically made to be stitched on. So an example of that, this is a card I have finished, and it's just a joy. So the cards, but I have a die that cuts out this, like this piece with all the little holes so that you can stitch on it. And this is a pattern I made up. I just went and found like a how do you stitch buffalo check, and then found an alphabet and kind of put it together and winged these like little branchy things that I put in there, or winged it. I don't know, whatever I'm trying to say there. I haven't mailed this to anyone because it needs to go to someone that's going to appreciate the work that went into it. This is not a card I'm okay with someone throwing away. So we need to send this to somebody special. So another thing that I have, and I didn't actually cut any of these yet, but this is the die. This is like the metal piece that would cut, and it will cut the little circle so it looks like it, and then it cuts like a little hoop, and there's a big hoop and a little hoop, and then like even the little screws or whatever, I guess, screws? Yeah, whatever, that tighten it there. So here's what we'll do. If you leave a comment and vote on should I do the Mermaid Garden or the kindness pattern next? I don't expect to do these videos like weekly, no way. Like it would be boring because I'm not going to stitch enough. I think I'm kind of slow. So probably I'll do them monthly. So if like a month has not gone by and you're catching this video at some point, go ahead and leave a comment and tell me which thing I should start next. and I will pick someone. I think it's like, do not say giveaway, do not say win, like don't say any of those words in your comment. Just tell me which one you think I should start next. And I will happily die cut a bunch of these for you. And I'll reach out. You can tell me like what you want. Like if you want colors for the part or just white for the stitching part. And I will happily send you off some of these to stitch on. How about that? Okay, so that I think is like everything I have to share. I don't know. I think I did okay. Like this, I don't know, I thought it was gonna feel like so awkward, but once I started talking, it wasn't bad. And I've been at this for almost an hour, which is like insane. But anyway, thank you so much if you stuck it out this long. And if you would like to see more of what I'm doing, like I said, you can find me on Instagram at Stitch Again Sam. And I will share more progress there, but I will probably share here. I'm kind of thinking maybe like once a month would be like a reasonable amount where you would see like progress on things. But well, I don't know. We'll see. Like this is the first time, right? So thank you so much. And I appreciate you watching, and hopefully I will see you soon. Bye.